Thank you all for joining on another episode of Marriage Evolves podcast. We are so glad that you are here. Make sure you go and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Make sure you hit that notification bell, bing, so you can be able to know when we are going live. And also the platforms. We are on all the platforms for the podcast. You can listen to it on your way to work, going to get groceries, wherever. But make sure you subscribe in all the areas. What do you say, Mr.
Well
Broussard?
said. I like that. That was wonderful.
You think so?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I'm glad to be your teammate. You know, you all right,
okay,
girl. You
okay.
all right. You
all right. All right.
But check it out. So I was thinking the other day.
You was thinking?
Yes, I was thinking.
I like it when you think.
Okay. But in any case, I was thinking the other day, and I remember when we were getting ready to get married. We got married so early and so young, right? Early 20s. I don't believe we had any fear of getting married. There was no apprehension. Now, the day of the ceremony, there was some butter guts going on and some things happening.
What are you
But I'm
talking
talking
about?
leading up to getting to the point of the ceremony. We were not, I think, apprehensive about getting married because we wanted to do that. But, you have those, oh man, my whole life flashing, from it when you're there at the altar and you say, am I getting ready to really do this? But I was just thinking because some people, they have a really, just cement them in one place.
Wow.
Fear. They're like, I don't know if this is a good, thing for me. I don't know how this is going to work out. Some because of their family dynamics. Mom and dad didn't work out, so they made, marriage is not good. I don't want to do that, or could be past experiences. So I think today we ought to talk about those people that suffer from gamophobia.
What the ham sandwich is gamophobia?
Gamophobia is the fear of commitment, the fear of marriage. Yes.
Well, that's a real thing.
I didn't make that word up. It's a real word.
That's real. And I do understand why you went the direction you went because I will say I did have gamophobia when I was on that altar. I was like, oh my God, what am I getting ready to do? Forever? You mean to tell me I have to be with this dude for how long? Oh, it was
this dude. That's how you thought about it.
In my mind. It was a thing. And I think society, because society in this, I almost say society, culture, well, I'll use the word culture. Culture puts it out there on social media and all these platforms that marriage is so beautiful. It doesn't have its ups and downs. It's always high and happy.
And I think that's the mindset you had going into it, huh? You had that Cinderella mindset.
The Cinderella mindset.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just leave my shoe over here and he's gonna find it and come swoop me off my feet. Because we as women, we grow up playing house. You see all this. So we have this Cinderella mentality, not realizing when you actually get to that altar, that fear really comes into play.
And he ain't really Prince Charming.
No, but the commitment is what people are so fearful of. Committing to the one person for the rest of their life.
Committing to the marriage and the idea of going forth and being vulnerable and learning how to trust.
Yes.
Especially if there was some areas in their previous marriage or previous relationships where trust was damaged and they have a fear of allowing themselves to trust again, to be vulnerable in that space again with another individual.
Right, but let's kind of piece it one bit at a time.
Okay, let's get it on your back. Let's go.
Yeah, when we're talking about a lifetime, that's a forever thing when you're talking about committing to a person. So that right there can be quite overwhelming for some people. The reason why they don't want to commit, that means I cannot go out here and date whoever I want to date when I want to.
Yeah, because you're off the market now.
You're off the market. So you're committed to this one person. Now you're committed to the one person where you're getting accountability now.
Oh, accountability.
To this one person.
Yeah. I wonder if sometimes that really is what the fear is all about.
Because I don't want to be...
I got to be accountable.
Yes.
I got to answer to you. I got to let you know where I'm going. I got to be transparent before you.
And some people in culture, they're like, dude, why are you asking your wife if you got to spend this money? Why are you asking her, can you go out? That's a fear. People don't want to give that up. That's why they don't want to commit, because they don't want to have to answer to somebody to tell them, babe, can I go hang out with the guys? And, some people will tell you, oh, you a sissy, you a punk because you got to ask your wife.
And it's not so much that you get asking to get permission as much as asking so you can say, hey, what's going on? Do we have anything going on?
Yeah.
Are you good with this? Or so that way you'll know where I'm at. So that way you won't have to be worried about, well, I haven't heard from them. I don't know where they're at. It's a mutual respect is what it is. Not permission, but a mutual respect. I'm considering your thoughts and feelings in the process because I don't know what you may have had planned or what could be going on, especially if you got kids involved.
So would you say that the fear can come in because people feel like they're going to lose their autonomy?
Yes. Oh, yeah. And the sad thing about it is you don't realize you can still maintain your autonomy if you do your relationship right and you respect one another's individuality.
Yeah.
Because that was something that even though we had some pushback with each other in the early years, we learned to establish that.
Would you really say it was pushback, or would you really say it was punching back?
It was more punching back because we was a ram and a goat,
Yes.
constantly at each other. But the point I'm making with that is we were two strong-minded individuals. And in being that type of, two strong-minded individuals in our relationship, we both want to assert our own viewpoints, our own, way of wanting to do things. And we did not want the other person to, if I could, had the other person, try to dictate how we were going to be. To formulate who we were going to be. You would always tell me, baby, I don't want to do it that way because I have my own way of doing it. And I was like, well, baby, you need to do it this way because this makes sense. And you're like, no, I would like it, do it this way. And I said, okay. And I'm using, for example, let's say putting up a picture on the wall. Something simple.
Something really simple.
Something really simple. And I want to have you get the measuring tape out and a pencil and, so it go up one time and get it done right. And you're like, no, I want to do it this way because I have it in my mind, how I have it set, and I got to see how it's laid out. And I'm like, look, I just want to do it one time. I ain't trying to put a whole bunch of holes in the wall. Do it one time, done. And we finished. But we had two different approaches. And I had to learn to respect your approach. You had to learn to understand my approach.
But see that right there, because all of what you just said can bring anxiety to someone.
Yeah.
Because now I have to do something somebody else's way. You telling me that I can't just put the thing on the wall and bam, it's done? Because, in this culture, anxiety is a real thing. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to ask you, is this straight or whatever? I just need you to let me be and do it my own way.
Do it my own way.
Yeah. And I think that right there can be a huge thing because of that, like I said, that anxiety.
Yeah. And
you're losing the autonomy. Do you figure losing autonomy and anxiety, all of that coming down because you say, I do?
Yeah.
Or commit to somebody?
I think what's really going on with when you mentioned it, losing that autonomy and that anxiety is the fear of, I'm about to have a significant life change.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah. I'm about to have a significant life change. I'll never forget moments of a wake up in the morning, I'm looking at it like, who is this person I got laying next to me?
No,
I know who they are, but I'm like, okay, who is this person really?
But you know what? I think because of, and we talk about this a lot, but we're going to keep repeating this, because of past experiences, that can keep someone from committing or what they've seen in their home, meaning how they haven't seen in their home could create that, I don't want to commit because everybody that I'm around, they always end up divorced.
Yes.
And so if I feel like I got to turn around and look at you, and wonder, what the heck did I just do? I don't want to do that. I don't want to commit to you. I don't want to commit to anybody. I will marry myself and commit to myself. Yeah, that one.
Marry yourself.
You know that they got folk out here doing all kind of crazy stuff. I will marry myself.
Yeah, that's a bunch of foolishness. But
I think so. But it's so many social expectations and things that the culture is trying to make the norm to where it's bringing about that fear.
You said something just now.
But the thing about it is, God says, I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. So if God is anywhere in your life, you will not have that level of fear and anxiety that will keep you from committing because you know he will be a part of that commitment.
Yeah.
Like that
3/4 chord.
Yeah, that. Come on. I guess I'm going to do one of those.
What you're doing with your fingers. But
the chord. I'm trying to make a chord, bro.
Okay. But you said something a minute ago. You were talking about the cultural pressure, society and societal and cultural pressure. And I just thought about how in certain cultures, in certain dynamic ethnicities, it is a pressure to be married by a certain age or a certain stage of life. You know, we're a little more liberal here in America, but in certain cultures, once you hit 25, once you hit 30, you have to be married with the house and, wife and husband and at least 2 kids, type situation, because they don't want you to be so focused in your career that you don't have an heir to the family or someone that you could be a benefactor to, continuing our legacy going, and some have that fear of that pressure from family or from culture that I have to do it this way, even though I'm like, I really want to chase after my career. I want to be a professional. I want to get certain things. I want to attain certain things before I start family. I'm not saying I don't really want to have a family. I do, but I want to accomplish certain things first. So, but the pressure could be coming from, mom or dad or grandmom or whoever saying, no, I'm ready for you to have grandkids. I'm ready for you to bring in a husband or a wife because we want you to experience that life.
So the pressure of commitment is real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you said in certain cultures, that could be in a lot of cultures.
It is.
And ethnicities.
It is.
A lot.
Or not even just the culture or ethnicity. It could be in a family dynamic.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you think that a person would be able to navigate from the fear and those nerves of wanting to commit? Because eventually you would think that some people would say, I do want to marry, but how do I get past these fear of commitment or the gamophobia?
The who?
Gamophobia,
okay.
Right?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. That's all. Just for the audience.
Okay, go ahead.
So your question, how do they face that? How do they, address that? Which is a good question. One of the things that I say, because this was an area for me, whether we're the topic that we're talking about, but anytime I face fear for myself, I had to do self-reflection. I had to look in myself, okay, what is it about this situation that got you all bundled up? What is it about this particular area that you don't want to continue to go forward in? And so I had to reflect, okay, what was the issue and find out the why. Why is this a hang up for me? Why do I have fear in this area? And then once I was able to do that, address, the situation and recognize the why, then I had to work in of myself. Part one, through having open communication, whether it was with you or a mentor or another brother that could help me in that area because maybe they overcame. Or if not, having a real honest conversation with myself and God. God, help me. I need to be or overcomer in this area because I don't want this to hinder me anymore. I don't want this to block me. So in what we're talking about today, in that fear of commitment or that fear of marriage, I would suggest that the individual, first of all, recognize that there's a fear.
Yes, because the fear actually brings about clarity on whether the fear that you're experiencing is situational or a deeply ingrained issue that goes, like you were talking about, very deep. And that is where I believe sometimes in society and in culture, we don't want to do that deep work to find out why and where this is coming from.
Right. I want to take a quick pause and just a little sidebar.
Yeah.
You said situational. And it just made me think about this because for some, situational fear could be, well, ain't no good husbands out, or there ain't no good men out there, ain't no good women. So I ain't gonna get married because if I do, they gonna end up cheating or they gonna end up spending all my money. You know, folks have certain hang-ups because
Yes.
of what our culture, American culture, throws out there, or what they see on TV, what they see in the movies. And so sometimes is they
What they see in their neighborhood.
you know, or even in their own families, you know. And they, you know, everybody likes to say, you know, art imitates life. So it's like, I'm not going to do marriage because, you know what, I'm just going to do me. I'm going to, you know, park it with somebody if I like them, and we will see how it works out. And if it does, we're good.
If you honest, if you watch Hollywood and all them stars and everything, you'll be so fearful because everybody stay married, what, 1 or 2 years? And it's like,
if even that.
It's like a revolving door. When you see people get married, get divorced, get married, get divorced, get married,
I ain't
get
happy
divorced.
no more. I want to go ahead and divorce you.
Exactly.
Irreconcilable difference. This is the one that really gets me though. We how do they say it? We not falling out of love. We oh man, I can't remember the term they use, but it's a term they use, and I say, you know, that's not true. You stop communicating, you stop trying, you stop you know, giving a care of working at the situation.
So would you say that a person that has this level of fear of commitment find a marriage coach or someone that could help them walk through that area of their life? If they really desire to want marriage, but don't know how to get to it or get over that fear.
And I won't even say just so much the portion about marriage as much as commitment. Because if you think about it,
you can be married and not committed.
Learning not to have fear of commitment will help you to get to the portion of marriage, because marriage is a commitment.
Yeah.
So I would say address the issue of why you have a fear of committing. What is it about saying, hey, I'm going to dedicate my time, I'm going to dedicate myself to seeing this through? I mean, you can think about any simple thing in life. You know, you could be committed to going after a degree, committed to going after a certain position on the job, committed to, you know, attaining a certain business.
Got it.
So it's like, okay, what tools do I need to garner? What individual can help me, a mentor, a coach that can sit down with me, help me draft up a plan on how to tackle these areas that have hindered me, these whys of the reason that I'm not going forward and I feel like I'm stuck. So that way these areas no longer hinder me and stop me, but I can push past it. I can find resolution and be able to go forward and be committed. Now, once I have that, and if I want to get married, I can easily see myself now wanting to be married, because that fear of commitment is no longer an issue. Tackle the fear of commitment first. Especially if that's what it, you know, what it is, and the reason why you're not wanting to get married, because you're wondering about, I don't know if I can be committed. I like being a single person. I like being an individual that does what they want to do, how they want to do it. And I don't know if I can be committed to just one person
for the rest of our life. It's interesting because I believe I heard somebody say just recently that we have coaches for every area of our life, our profession, our education and business. However, we shun away from getting coaches for marriage or teach you how to get over your commitment fears.
One of the most intricate institutions, marriage.
Yeah.
Something that takes a lot of dynamics to be able to work at from different phases and stages of your life. we look at times those that were before us, our moms, our dads, grandparents, and maybe sometimes aunts and uncles, but we don't look at, okay, I need to have somebody
Ooh.
that I can talk to periodically, that I can relate to, that can really give me practical tools to help me be a better husband, help me to be a husband, teach me what it means to be that.
You know, I just thought about this too, where it could be why many don't want to commit is because they don't know how to effectively communicate or build a healthy relationship type thing. Those could be areas of where people have a fear of commitment as well, because this means now I have to work on something.
I got to share myself.
I have to share my life, my money,
my thoughts,
my body,
my space.
not body, but body. Yeah, I have to share all these things. So what's the sad part about it is I'm willing to share all of that without commitment to one person, but I'll share it with anybody else.
Don't that kind of be like
for
upside
a
down?
temporary fix. That temporary dopamine.
But marriage is just it's just piece of paper.
It's more than just a piece of paper.
You sure about that?
Yes. If we are to have marriage in accordance to how God has orchestrated it to be, it's more than just a piece of paper. It is you committing to serving this person for the rest of your life, serving him with your body, serving him with your mind, serving him with your emotions forever. At least we hope it will be forever.
Forever, ever?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Selah.
Yeah.
Husa. I don't know about you, but that helps. Addressing those fears of commitment and marriage is a proactive step that we as individuals, or you as an individual, can take towards building a healthy relationship and fostering personal growth within.
Yeah, look for receiving self-empowerment. Acknowledge those areas and those fears. Do that self-reflection, inflection. Just be aware of the fear and the why, and then address it. And as you address it, work on being committed to not allowing that fear to overtake you. Fear of commitment, or fear of the reasons why you don't want to go into a marriage relationship. So another area I would say that people suffer from in having this fear of commitment or marriage is it could be past traumatic experiences, especially if they were married before and it went to a bitter divorce, situation, or, it could have been some other experiences that hindered them, from wanting to be in that relationship again.
Right, but not only just failed marriages, but also bad relationships where they may have been abused or sexually assaulted in these relationships. It creates that fear of commitment of doing this again because of what I went through before. So with those traumatic experiences, it is very essential for any individual to seek marriage coaching to help you get past those areas so you can be able to commit to someone else again, because those fears stem from the possibilities of some kind of historical repeated thing, always, constantly.
Which rolls me into another thought process, performance anxiety. Yeah. I don't know if I could be a good father. I don't know if I could be a good husband. I don't know if I could be a good wife. I don't know if I'm be able to measure up in the bedroom. I don't know if I'll be able to cook and keep a house maintained. I mean, it's just so many different things.
So those unrealistic cultural pressures.
Or just individual pressures, because, you may be a perfectionist, and you may be, bossing on the job. But when it comes down to your personal life, you might not have that together. You might not be able to boss in that same area.
So you're saying that my fear of commitment could be from trying to live up to unrealistic expectations and ideas of what you may have seen.
Movies, television, what you see in the internet, what's always presented before you. It's a certain cookie cutter, what we say, format of how it should be. Marriage is not cookie cutter. Commitment in relationships are not cookie cutter. Every relationship is different because every individual in the relationship is different. And it's never going to be the same. Trying to live up, and we mentioned this before, trying to live up to moms and dads' expectation.
Oh.
Because mom and dad did it a certain way, or they still try to implement certain things on you. Now you're grown to have your own way of doing things, your own mind, but yet they're still overreaching and say, hey, you need to be looking at it like this. You need to be doing like this. Now, if they're giving good advice, that's one thing. But if they're not offering their advice, they're telling you as a grown adult, you need to be doing it like this. Hey, wait, hold on now.
Yeah.
I'll take your advice under, your suggestion under advisement, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to make the decision for me.
You also made me think about this one too, because when you're talking about performance anxiety, you're listening to all the girlfriends that aren't married or looking to be married and have had these bad experiences as well, and you're listening to this, that can create another level of anxiety, even from your sisters and brothers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cousins and relatives.
Having pressure and anxiety of being able to have a baby, or being able to pop out 3 or 4,
Yeah.
Being able to provide for them financially, being able to have the big house,
But these fears are very, very real.
Oh, yeah.
Of why people don't commit. What we call them? Some people are those runners. They refuse to commit because they are a runner. They don't like to deal with these things.
But these are real situations and real, I would say, internal struggles that folks have. And some of them are valid. They're not superficial, but some of them are really valid.
Valid, but still need to be addressed.
Yes, it needs to be addressed.
And tackled.
Because one of the things I would say, in any area of our life, especially as we talk about things, God hasn't given us that spirit of fear, because you mentioned that. And I would like to say that we don't operate in that. So you want to address that fear. Don't allow that fear to overtake you. Confront it and deal with it.
I'm going to confront that thing in your throat right now, trying to keep you from talking.
Need some water.
Get you some water, bro. Okay. So the areas of reflecting where your nerves may come in regarding commitment is do a self-reflection, have the honest, open communication, and get a marriage coach. Ooh, marriage coach. Isn't that us?
I know a perfect team.
Oh, my God.
Coach Roderick Roshawn.
You can give us a call.
Marriage Evolves.
Or text us. Yes. Anyway, my friends, we are so happy that you have chosen to watch another episode of Marriage Evolves podcast. Make sure you go to YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook and follow us and get that notification on YouTube so you can make sure you know when we are going live for any information that you need for your relationship. And as always, we love to say this. We are a team. And with that, we are Two hearts, one team with one purpose.